Welcome back, all you happy people. It's now time for us to take a look at the first big new animated sequel of the year. One of the few that's being released this year. And without a doubt, this is one that has generated some, conversations, I guess is the best word I can put it. Yeah, needless to say, much like its predecessor, this is a film that has really been splitting both critics and audiences apart. And I'm not going to get too much into this discussion because, one, I don't want to talk about it, and two, I'm not that smart enough to talk about it, but it's a lot, to put simply. Which I wouldn't have expected for a movie based on a video game like Super Mario Bros. Back in 2023, Nintendo partnered with Illumination to try to bring Mario back to the big screen after his first attempt in 1993, well, didn't turn out so well. By the way, I did rewatch the 93 film not too long ago, and I wouldn't call it one of the worst films of the 90s like I did back in my initial review, even though I still find it a misguided film that shouldn't have blended Mario with Cyberpunk, but I digress. Anyways, Illumination brought Mario back to the big screen 3 years ago with the Super Mario Bros. Movie, as it follows two Italian plumbers from New York who end up in the Mushroom Kingdom and follows Mario as he has to rescue his brother Luigi from the evil King Bowser, with the help of Princess Peach and her loyal toads. I already did a review of this film back on my channel when it first came out, and while I did understand why various film critics really did not like this film, and while I also will say that the film is nothing exceptional or amazing, I mean, there were better animated films that came out in 2023, I still had a good time watching it. It is flawed, don't get me wrong. The pacing is rushed, some of the jokes don't land, and the needle tops are gratuitous and so generic, but I like the animation. Most of the humor did get some laughs from me. The story was simple enough for a Mario movie, and I like the characters. If you didn't like it, I get it. It's severely flawed, and I can see why it wouldn't work for people. But, I don't know, it could have been worse. I'll take it over Borderlands or a Minecraft movie any day of the week. Those films were draining. At least with this, I could tell the people at Illumination really did have such deep love and respect for the games. So, yeah, I had fun, and that's what matters for me. It's definitely flawed, but I wasn't expecting the boy and the heron out of it. Sometimes I just want a fun, turn off your brain film, and this did the trick. Despite what you might think of that first film, there was no denying the movie was huge. It was the highest grossing animated film of that year, so naturally a sequel was inevitable. I mean, there was a post-credit scene with Yoshi's egg, so we knew one was coming. And I was honestly curious to see a sequel, because there is a lot they could pull from the games in a new installment. So, what could we see for the second film? And what would it be called? The Super Mario Bros. Movie 2? The Super Mario World movie? The Hotel Mario movie? What are they planning next? Well, I see they're trying to aim for the stars. Yeah, so the sequel to the Super Mario Bros. Movie is the Super Mario Galaxy movie, and I'm kind of surprised they're going in that direction already for the second film. And if anything, this film definitely had more pressure being put on it than the first. It's not just the fact that it's a sequel, it's also the fact that they're now pulling from one of the most beloved Mario games of all time. The Super Mario Galaxy games on the Wii are not just seen as high-quality Mario games, they're seen as high-quality video games in general. Like, cream of the crop, best of the best. And I played these games. I mean, I did have a Wii, of course. What kid didn't? And yeah, I agree, they're phenomenal. So, yeah, because it's pulling from the best Mario games ever, there's gonna be more expectations for it beyond the appearance of Rosalina, Bowser Jr., and Yoshi, who's apparently voiced by Donald Glover? Okay, that's a weird choice. I don't mind it, you could do worse, but it's really strange. It's like buying a blender because it plays Lionel Richie. It's not the worst thing you could get, but it is odd. Though, I think the big thing that I was curious on was whether or not this could be the first Illumination sequel in a long time that I've liked, because I really haven't cared for Illumination sequels since Despicable Me 2. Let me make this clear. I don't hate Illumination. I think as an animation studio, they do have their merits of making some fun entertainment with lovely visuals, and they have made plenty of films I've liked outside the first Mario movie. But I can't say I particularly enjoyed their sequels. They just haven't done much for me. I wouldn't call them bad, as they're fine at best and mediocre at worst, but compared to their competitors, they aren't really that special. And a lot of them suffer from being really overstuffed and leading to very messy plots. I'll talk about it a bit more when I review Minions and Monsters in July, which I'm not exactly eager to see, but its day will come. We'll get to it. So, what did I think of this movie so far? Well, I was intrigued. It did look visually impressive like the first film, and I liked seeing some of the new stuff. Though I was a little worried that it was going to be overstuffed, much like other Illumination sequels. But hey, I was just hoping it could be a fun time, much like the first film. I wasn't expecting anything spectacular, but I certainly don't think it looked worthless. And hey, maybe this could be the first Illumination sequel since Despicable Me 2 I actually enjoyed. So, I went to go see it. And how it turned out? Well, how you're gonna feel about this new sequel is mainly gonna be depending on how you felt about that first film if you've seen it. As someone who did enjoy the first film, I did have fun with this, even though I do agree with the consensus this is a weaker film than its predecessor, and yeah, there's no denying this thing is kinda messy at times. I did enjoy the Super Mario Galaxy movie, but make no mistake, this is a film that does have severe problems as a movie. It's a film that does do a lot of things that work, and it also does a lot of things that don't. But there was enough here that I'd find myself having a good time that puts it above other Illumination sequels. This is certainly not one of their better movies, but honestly, I've seen worse. And as far as harmless entertainment goes, this wasn't all that bad. It could have been better, don't get me wrong, but yeah, I had fun, what can I say? When we last left our heroes, Mario rescued Luigi, stopped Bowser from marrying Princess Peach and conquering New York, and the two brothers moved into their new home as the resident plumbers of the Mushroom Kingdom. A bit of time later, Mario, played again by Chris Pratt, and Luigi, played again by Charlie Day, have enjoyed their time staying in the Mushroom Kingdom, helping out Princess Peach, played again by Anya Taylor-Joy, and having found a new dinosaur friend, Yoshi, played by Donald Glover. On Peach's birthday, during a celebration, Aluma crash lands into the kingdom, revealing that the Princess of the Cosmos, Rosalina, played by Brie Larson, has been kidnapped and taken to the center of the galaxy by Bowser's spoiled bratty son, Bowser Jr., played by Benny Safdie. Hoping to save the princess, Peach and Toad, played again by Keegan-Michael Key, set off into the galaxies to find Rosalina, while the brothers and Yoshi are forced to look after the kingdom and their old foe Bowser, played again by Jack Black. However, in the midst of the chaos, Bowser Jr. ends up stealing the castle, hoping to reunite with his father, and so the Mario Brothers have to figure out how to stop the spoiled prince from causing more chaos, and also rescue Rosalina before it's too late. Before I get deep into what I felt about this film, let me start off by saying I can see why critics are pretty divisive again on this movie. This is a film that really does have massive problems that do plague it. And it's not just me saying this as a Mario fan. This is coming from someone who is a film lover, and this is absolutely the kind of film I can see being seen as annoying for people who didn't like the first film, or even people who did enjoy it and were expecting a lot more out of it. I get it. I didn't like that Minecraft movie at all last year, so I can see where they're coming from. And yeah, could I have expected better from a film like this? Sure. But honestly, it could have been much worse, and for what it's worth, I can't say there wasn't any effort that didn't go into it, because there was some found to be found here. As far as Illumination sequels go, this is definitely on the better end of them compared to something like Despicable Me 4 or The Secret Life of Pets 2, even if the story does share some of the problems which are common for Illumination sequels. I will start off by saying that one of the problems I did have with the first film was the rushed pacing, because it moved way too quickly and scenes weren't really allowed to breathe as much as they should. And yeah, this film once again does have that problem. There are moments where scenes move far too quickly than they should. There's a scene where Mario, Luigi, Yoshi, and Bowser meet the Honey Queen, and that scene felt so rushed. Like, they get there, the Queen is going to imprison them, then Bowser's like, I'll take their place instead. And that's it. That's the scene. What? Not just that, the plot structuring also is a massive problem. The scenes do bounce all over the place like a pinball, and it doesn't feel as controlled as it should. Like at one moment, we're with Mario and Luigi on a planet, then less than 3 minutes later, we're with Peach and Toad searching for Rosalina, and then not long after that, we're with Bowser Jr. doing his maniacal plans, and then back and forth, and this and that, and up and down, and squareways and frontways, and oh my god, what is going on? This film really doesn't feel controlled. The script by Matthew Fogel needed to be better structured, and the pacing should have been so much more controlled. I think if the scenes were a bit more organized rather than jumbled as they were, it could have been greatly improved. Because for what it's worth, the scenes are still pretty fun when they're coherent. There's some good action set pieces in there, and all the characters get to do something fun. I think the scenes with Peach are definitely the highlight. She's the one that gets to do a lot, as the mission does feel a bit more personal to her, since she thinks something with Rosalina has something to do with her past, and how she ended up with the Toads, as we saw in the first film. And I really did like the fight scene with her and Toad versus Wart and his goons in this weird casino-type place in the walls. That was pretty fun. And yeah, there is a bit more in the film with the stakes, especially with Bowser Jr. going crazy, and it does lead to a pretty fun climax. And it also helps that Brian Tyler's score finally gets to fully shine. That was one of the pluses with the first film. The score was really good, but unfortunately it was undermined by those horrifically generic needle drops that stood out so badly. Especially knowing Tyler composed music for the scenes the needle drops were put over. Like, there was no reason Take On Me should have been used in that film. Rally Road Racers, which is a far worse movie than that Mario movie, used Take On Me better than it. That's really embarrassing. But yeah, the needle drops are mostly gone here, and the score gets to fully shine, and thank God for that. So yeah, it wasn't terrible as far as escapist stuff goes, but in terms of basic film structuring, this could have used work. I will say that the one improvement that this film does have over the first film is the animation, which is easily the biggest highlight. This is a very pretty film, and the team at Illumination did a terrific job expanding this world a lot more. There's some really great production design with the galaxies, mainly the Gateway Galaxy and Space Junk Galaxy. The colors are great, and they really get to have fun with some of the action scenes, which are well staged and put together. Apart from the casino fight with Peach and as well as the ending fight, we also do have a battle between Rosalina and Bowser Jr.'s robot reactor, the battle with the brothers and him using his paintbrush, and there is a bit of suspense when Yoshi has to protect Mario and Luigi, who are shrunken back into babies on a planet with dinosaurs. It's fun stuff. Well, how are the characters, though? Mostly solid. Their voice performances do carry them through, even if the character development is kind of slapdash. When it comes to the returning players, Mario is probably the least interesting, and most of it has to do with Chris Pratt, who is once again fine, but definitely not as good as the others. He's easily the weak link of the cast, though that could also be due to the fact that I'm getting really sick of him. I mean, did any of you see Mercy? Actually, I take that back. Don't see Mercy. It's awful. Moving on. Yeah, he's kind of the wink link in the cast, though the others are still fun. It's nice seeing Luigi getting to do more here, and they really get to let to have Charlie Day shine and have fun with him. Again, Peach gets to do more, like I talked about earlier, and it's fun to see more of Bowser's goofball side, although the way that his arc and relationship with the Mario Brothers and Jr. was not really well handled, the latter especially. When he's told about what his son is doing, he says he thinks he's a bad father because he's sent away to boarding school and is hoping to be a better parent and whatnot, but Bowser Jr. is really proud of his dad and doesn't seem to have any ill will towards him, so I'm not sure where this regret came from. Yeah, it just comes out of nowhere and they don't do anything with it. Not to mention, it seems like the film was trying for a will Bowser be redeemed arc that was really flimsy. I don't know what they were trying to do with that. It's really a mess. Though, I do think Jack Black still does make it work despite the messy script, and it helps that his son is pretty fun. I was initially worried about Benny Safdie as Bowser Jr., as I was kinda hoping for a tomboy-esque voice for him, like the games. You know, like a Nancy Cartwright voice or something, but he does actually work in the film, and he is pretty fun being this spoiled little brat who has his crazy father's desires. He's pretty fun, and he does work well against the brothers. And as far as the other characters go, they do work. I like Rosalina, even though she's not as prominent in the film as you might think. She should have been used more, though. I did not like how she was sidelined. Yoshi was really fun. I think Glover really was having a blast playing him. And then there was also... Oh, yeah. Okay, this is another problem I have with this film. Nintendo threw in some more Easter eggs in here, and it was kinda questionable. Like, they threw in the NES Rob at one point, and his character essentially boiled down to being Flash from Zootopia. It's essentially the same joke. There were Pikmin that show up at one point, but those were just cameos. Unlike a certain fox in the room. Okay, so last week, Illumination and Nintendo revealed that Fox McCloud was in this film. Fox, as I'm sure you all know, is the protagonist of the Nintendo franchise Star Fox, the game in which he and his team protect the Lylat system from the evil Andross. So, yeah, I don't know what he's doing here. I don't think this character is bad. He's fun and an enjoyable presence. I do love Glenn Powell's performance as him. The anime stuff showcasing him and his team was kind of fun. I liked his new design, and I'd be totally down to see him in a Star Fox film from Illumination. I just don't get why he's in a Mario movie. It's like if in a Metroid film, Samus pulls out the Master Sword. It's just wrong. He shows up to help out Peach and the others take down Bowser Jr. because they need a ship to go across the galaxies. And honestly, if they wanted to tie it more with the games, why couldn't they have just used Lubba from Galaxy 2? I mean, she's a fun presence. She has a crew of Lumas. She has her own freaking ship. I think it would have made more sense than seeing Fox McCloud, who's from a completely different Nintendo game. And again, I like him here. He's fun, but he doesn't belong in this film. It's really strange. Some ingredients just don't belong in certain recipes. It goes without saying. So, yeah, this film does have severe problems. And I can totally understand why anyone could dislike this film. It's an easy movie to hate. But if you like the first film, I think you'll have fun with the Super Mario Galaxy movie. I did, even though this might not be the most glowing reveal possible. I don't know, I've seen worse. While the film is far from perfect and not as good as the predecessor due to some severe pacing and plot structuring issues, some slapdash character development, and some insanely questionable decisions, the film does deliver some good animation, foot set pieces, and characters with enough charm and laughs to entertain. Whether or not you like the first film will depend on how you view the sequels, so take this review with a grain of salt. If you like the original, you'll have a fun time, but if not, this will not change your mind. I had a good time at least, so I guess I can say I got something out of it. It's fun for what it's worth, and hey, there's worse turn off your brain films you could watch instead. Again, this is not the most amazing review I can muster, but yeah, much like the movie, I guess my thoughts are kind of messy. What can I say? So, I'm going to give the Super Mario Galaxy movie the same grade as the last film, which is an 8. It is a lesser 8, though, let me make that clear, but I guess I liked it. What can I say? While this series might not be the most consistent on a filmmaking level, there is some enjoyment here that has me curious for a third film, which is most likely happening. With enough entertainment and some good spectacle, this might not fully reach the height of the galaxies, but it is worth a peek if you're curious.